Today I'm going to be sharing with you the unboxing of this very special order of art supplies from Choosing Keeping. Choosing Keeping are an amazing stationery and art supplies store in London, and they stock many unusual and unique products. They always wrap every order with so much care and attention to detail, and it just makes it a joy to unwrap. It's like actually having a gift. So I thought it would be a shame if I just sat in my studio and opened this on my own, which is why I filmed it so that you can share the excitement of opening these packages too. So you'll be able to have a look at everything I bought this time. This is my second order from Choosing Keeping, by the way. And then I'm going to do some swatching. So I bought some lovely paint sets. So we're going to swatch those and have a look at the colours. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to be creating some artwork using some of the supplies. I'm going to be testing out this handmade paper when I create the artwork later on in this video. So yeah, it was really interesting to try something like this because it's actually quite a lot more textured than the paper I would normally use. And yeah, it reacted to the paint slightly differently, so I'll talk a little bit more about that later on. I bought 2 of these postcards because I just thought they were so fun. I gave one to Dominic for Christmas and the other one is now on display in my studio. To paint the swatches, I'm actually going to be using the Aquarella watercolor paper from Choosing Keeping. This came back in my first order in the summertime, and I'm loving this paper. I don't just use it for watercolor, it's also really good for mixed media and pencils too. It really bugs me that the writing is not level on the top of the page. It went upwards. I don't know why. I often seem to do this with my writing. Apparently, isn't it meant to mean that you have like a positive disposition or something like that? It could just mean that maybe my eyes are wonky. But yeah, looking at it on camera when I was editing this, it really bugged me. I'm swatching the 1970s retro watercolour set here, and this is a really intriguing, unique collection of colours. I'm very interested to see what this palette can do, so I'm going to be doing some follow-up videos in the future where I share a bit more of these palettes and do some colour mixing to see which other colours I can come up with. Yeah, I think it'll be very interesting. I think these are actually a good way of pushing you out of your comfort zone when it comes to colours. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for future videos where I do a little more work with these. The camera doesn't do this colour justice. In reality, it's really bright. It's actually, I would call it a fluorescent colour. So what you're seeing on screen isn't anywhere near as bright as the real thing. It's actually quite an incredible colour. I really liked this palette. I love the limited nature of it, the fact that there are quite a few pinks and maroons, and I really like the neutral colours too, and the addition of the sky blue is a lovely contrast, so it'll be quite interesting to see what I can do with this palette in the future. Here I'm just quickly testing the Indigo ink and the paintbrush, and I really love this colour. I think it's going to be fantastic for storm clouds, rain clouds, and possibly even night skies as well. Indigo is one of my favourite colours anyway, so it's really nice to have this as an addition to my usual paints. So here I'm using the handmade paper I bought. I wasn't sure at first what I was going to paint on it, and in fact I have to tell you, I must confess that I did actually work on a couple of pieces before filming the creation of this piece. I really struggled at first with using the paints on this paper. It behaves quite differently to my usual paper, and I'm used to using more of a regular surface. Even though the paper I use tends to be a little bit textured, it's not as rough as this one. So I had to actually loosen up my technique a bit, which was quite interesting, and it did take a little bit of trial and error before I got there. But I find this is always the way whenever I'm trying new materials or new papers. I will often take a little bit of time to get used to them. I'm really looking forward now to seeing what else I can do with this paper now that I'm used to it, and also experimenting more with these paint sets because there are so many interesting colours. Obviously for this piece I just stuck to using maroon paint, but yeah, I think it would be fun to mix them together and to combine the sets. So I think there could be several future videos using these, and we'll see what we can come up with.